Hey Dan, do you want to go on Twitter real quick and like tweet it out?
There we go.
Like
Yeah,
I'm trying to think if Twitter act like is it nice like that you could share a link? I
yeah,
don't know.
definitely
Okay.
worth a shot.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
Yeah,
We live, baby. So
I could go post it on my Instagram. I'll do that real quick. To my 72 followers that are all probably robots.
hmm
alright, so for anyone on YouTube, welcome in as we warm up here and send out some links. But
I would be very impressed if someone was already here. Like
dude, honestly,
I would probably Venmo them $1. So if you're here right now, let us know.
man, within
You're gonna
like
become richer today.
probably within like 5 minutes, like we had like 4 people in here last
Love it.
Wednesday, which obviously we were pretty surprised to see like people just hop right into like so quickly. But yeah, so for anyone that is tuning in, we haven't had Andrew on for like probably like a month. So
Quite some time.
here's the missing man right here, Andrew. So I don't know. Now you gotta like say something about how you won that Aaron Rodgers jersey or something.
Yeah. Yeah. As you see, maybe alluding to what we're going to be talking about and repping the Packers. I definitely miss Aaron Rodgers in a Packers uniform. I won this many, many years ago. There's like paint stains on it. It's a little sus. I'm not going to show it. I promise it's paint. Just used to wear it every Sunday that the Packers had like a primetime game. I would watch it and wear it. Won it at the Texas State Fair. If you've ever been, it's a big ordeal. And I played one of the games where you throw a football through the hole that you're not statistically likely to win, but your boy chunked it through the hole.
He was just throwing dots. Threading the
There was probably a lot of great choices. I was like, Rodgers, baby, let's go. But I mean, it was years ago before I was very into football and like Dynasty, and my wife had a connection to the old GM, so I was like, Packers, it makes sense.
Yeah,
So here I am.
Yeah, there you go. So you're like, you're like, yeah, I kind of, what? I could be probably.
I could fuck with a little A-Rod, and then I think he won like back-to-back MVP, so maybe I started that.
Yeah, you're like, I could probably be his understudy. I could actually probably take his job.
Yeah.
After throwing those through the.
Hey, Green Bean, he said he missed the stream last night. 2 days in a row. We are throwing him for a loop.
Yeah, so good to see you back. Updating this chat here. But yeah, we went live earlier. We're just created a Twitter, which can you throw that in the can someone throw it in the for Green
yeah.
Bean
I'll put a link in the chat.
So yeah, because I've been having some troubles with Wednesday. It seems like because I play like soccer on Wednesdays, and it sounds like I don't play it on Wednesday next week, but it was like a month straight. So we're good now to like our normal time here. But yeah, we figured we go back so we can have Andrew on and just have a real stream today instead of just having the short one yesterday. So but yeah, we're gonna be talking a little bit of Dynasty chatter. Some Ayuk and Addison stuff, and then obviously kind of goes into best ball as well, and especially with Addison's ADP kind of slumping there, but yeah, then we'll jump into a fast puppy with the three of us, and I think it's gonna be pretty hectic.
Interesting is the word.
Green likes hopping into the drafts too, so he might be able to sneak in there as well. I think he did 2 with us, so
Love it.
Yeah, 2 days in a row. We're grinding. I mean, we gotta get the streams going up a little more often here as we're closing in the season as well. Even if it's just one.
I agree.
One or two of us on the stream, just get some more drafts and talk some more fantasy. But yeah, so let's get started here if we're good on. I know we're slinging the links out, but are we ready to roll here, boys?
Yep, got all the links posted.
Yep, I'm good right now.
Okay, awesome. So we'll jump into it. So let's start. Okay, I want to share some information on Addison here because I was just seeing the Twitter stuff go around.
Our residential Vikings fan. Let's hear it.
Yeah. My dad and I were talking some Addison stuff here too because he's on the Twitter streets for Vikings football as well.
Okay.
But basically, yeah, there's some interesting. I think I maybe had shared a little bit like last week with Dan. It's pretty interesting because like there's no blood alcohol in his like police report. And actually, I'm gonna even drift this something more interesting that I was talking with my dad about. So yesterday, when I was like getting some drinks with some friends on my soccer team, one of them was telling a story about how he went to the drunk tank, and he was saying you need to stay there a minimum of 5 hours. Like you just
Okay.
can't leave before 5 hours if you're in the drunk tank. You have
Okay.
to sober up. So, anyways, Addison was under under their custody for 2 hours, which is pretty interesting. I don't know if it's like I'm in Canada, but I assume that's kind of like universal. You need to stay in there like at least like 5-ish hours. Maybe it varies an hour or two. So I don't know if like maybe it was not alcohol, but it could have been something else for
Mm,
Addison. But
a little under the
regardless,
influence.
I just read something too. Again, I don't know how like credible these things are because it's like
Yeah.
it's just not like official NFL. It's not like Schefter tweeting it, right? Basically, right?
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
yeah, he said that there's just like a citation, basically.
Okay.
Like there's and it like yeah,
So
there's
could be getting off like scot-free, maybe, sounds
pretty
like.
much is like what I read, and it's not 100%, but what do you think of that? And have you like heard anything else like for you guys on the situation?
Honestly, I didn't even know about it until I forget honestly when I think when I saw it was just on the sleeper
Oh, okay.
summary, or like the update. I didn't usually Twitter is like my kind of source for info, so maybe when y'all texted, maybe something, and I was like, oh, what happened? And then I went and looked, I was like, oh, okay. I feel like it's not a huge deal, and maybe that is good or bad in terms of like which side of the coin you are, and if you want to go and buy Addison while there's a little bit of like murkiness, or I mean, in no situation, I feel like can you really sell him right now if you want fair value?
Whoa.
So it's just a matter of do I buy?
Andrew, I you know what? I was like looking in the league to go set an offer up early, and you just so happen to own him. So
Oh,
you never know if you want out, man. Like
well,
the
I
offer.
pretty much just said I won't because I know that it won't be fair value, at least in my eyes. Like anytime that there's a murky situation, I think
Yeah.
people are going to try to leverage that. And
Yeah.
any type of like debate, like especially like with the Rice situation, people are like valuing him and like treating him differently in trade talks. So I'm in my perspective, like with Addison, Dan said this really well, I think, through one of our text chains. If you believed in him in the slightest, like this is your time to go get him. Like any bit of like a value knock, take advantage of it, right? Do you still feel that way, Dan?
Well, I think Blake actually said that. I was
Okay.
more kind of skeptical of Addison, and Blake was kind of
Okay.
talking me into this probably being the time to buy him, and it definitely is. I mean, if you believe in him, I've been
Okay.
hyping Addison up to this point. So in theory, this could be a good time to buy him if I still believe in his talent. I just question his
I
judgment.
heard the word if. I heard the word if he still believes.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely question his judgment at this point. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, I mean, if a teammate of his getting killed by a drunk driver doesn't kind of like wake him up and
Yeah.
inspire him to make some better decisions, like I'm not sure exactly like what will. And the situation could have been a lot worse too. I mean, his car was stopped in a highway lane with him asleep at the wheel. What if his stopped car that's in the middle of the highway had gotten rear-ended by a driver, and then Addison's in the hospital now with life-threatening injuries? I mean, like, so I just love investing in a player with really bad judgment, but I don't know, Blake. We share your thoughts because you're thinking this might be the perfect time to buy him.
Yeah, especially this is. I mean, I think this is both underdog and because yes, there could be suspension. I just don't think it's gonna be. I think people really overreact with the 8-game stuff. For these situations, which seems to be how it's priced in. Like we just saw Jameson Williams, Curtis Samuel, and someone else go ahead of Addison on underdog. But
oh man,
on Dynasty, you never really know these guys' prices because they're the owner. It varies owner to owner. But if you can find a guy that's like panicked on Addison, I mean, Dan, you were like super high on Addison. I was very high on Addison as well as a Vikings fan, but I've kind of packaged them away in some deals this offseason. It's straight it just came out for like what his ceiling was.
Yeah.
Like I think his ceiling is like Devontae Smith is what I was saying. Is like
I think pure potential got in your head, man. I think he convinced you that like he's replaceable, right? If you can go get a first, if you can find so many people that can produce just like him, and if you can get a plus on it,
yeah,
then that's the move.
I was thinking, my thing was like I think I'm more worried about how people are going to react to his potential outlook like this next season, because he is coming off such a good rookie season, and lost the quarterback upgrade or Kirk Cousins. But again, I believe in Sam Darnold. I think he can still take a step.
So you're saying you don't know how he can necessarily like improve his value, because last season was kind of really good. Like he played well, and some of his numbers were like astronomically good, but it actually. Am I fair in saying that? Like, you don't really know how he can increase his value?
I would be, like, over the moon about Addison if he was, like, priced like he was, and he'll still have Kirk Cousins, which obviously, like, he lost Kirk Cousins. But, I don't know. I like to factor in, like, how tradable people are as well. It's, like, Addison, people just really do not seem to be, like, hot on him before this whole DUI thing. But, funny enough, I feel like this can kind of, like, multiply, and, like, hey, now it's the time. If you can, like, just package something that's like not worth a first, and like I'm all in on Addison now, because now I think he's like at an ultra discount. I don't know. Yeah, I've been kind of bouncing in between, but I think if you were in on Addison, like this is the time to go see if you can get him in one of your leagues. And again, if you're playing in multiple leagues, you just got to find the right manager. So.
Yeah, I mean, taking the whole incident out of it, I definitely think Addison can increase in value. I mean, historically, buying second or third year wide receivers has just been an absolute cheat code in fantasy football, redraft or dynasty. So, people kind of talk about like people act like as if we know like what Jordan Addison is. Like we really don't. He's only been in the NFL one season. He had a really, really good rookie season. So we don't know how much higher that ceiling is. But as long as he's on the field and available to play football, I'm definitely excited about his potential to take a step forward this season. I mean, imagine if you could buy Adam Thielen in Dynasty after like one season with the Vikings. I mean, wouldn't you be excited about that? I mean, he was a wide receiver 2, at times a wide receiver 1 for years with the Vikings. So like, why couldn't Jordan Addison be that? So yeah, I mean,
it's interesting.
I'm kind of torn now because I really do think he was a great buy, and I'm a little more nervous, but I think it is worth exploring what the cost is right now.
Yeah, I feel like if you can really get the discount, and you were already in
if you can get the discount, then I think there's no reason not to.
Yeah, like I think
that's how I feel with Rice too. Like I know the judgment part of it, but it's like this is Dynasty. There's a lot of time left. Like 8 games should not factor into that much in Dynasty.
So that's, you said that perfectly, and and we're not even, if that's 8 games max. I think like again we're talking more like 4 games, like realistically.
So as you all been talking about like the second year, Dan, I love you for saying that. I was trying to remember what that conversation was, but lately I feel like I don't know what it is, and I can't really quantify it or put words to it. It feels like those second year guys are almost like kind of going down in like sexiness. Like I feel like people aren't. I feel like people aren't going after the flowers or the.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
We identified why.
I don't know what it is.
Oh well, Blake figured it out. It's because last season all of the second year receivers were disappointments. Like whether it was Chris Olave, Jalen Waddle. So like, but like a lot. Oh, Drake London, but most of them had bad quarterback situations. So it's typical that the market
letting some bias come into play.
Dotson, Wilson. I mean, Sky Moore did every single one. You said Waddle. Waddle was his third.
Waddle, London.
That was his third.
Olave. So the market always overreacts to whatever happened last season. They're like, oh, well, that's what's going to happen this season. So as a result, all of these second-year wide receivers that had really good but not elite rookie seasons, nobody cares about, and that's exactly why.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's
I saw like a stat or a chart recently about stats that essentially carry over or best determine future success, and at the top of it, I think it said the most stickiness, like the one that carries the most kind of weight, is points per game. That's going to best determine your future points per game. So I was like, I love that. Like, you don't have to look at every single thing. Of course, it's nice to sprinkle in like a yards. I think yards per route run. I think that was a good one too.
Yeah.
There was a few up there that I was like, okay, I mean, this makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
interesting.
Like,
We're letting
And
that
just like
affect.
target share is generally like the top kind of.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Things.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you can kind of project if that's going to change.
So it's still by second year receiver season, but it
Yeah.
also feels like but again, it feels like this disconnect is still causing. It's hard to kind of buy them as well.
I'm burnt from Dotson and Burks, so like that's my bias. But it can be hard to buy these guys depending on the receiver. I think there's some really interesting situations to factor into each receiver. Like 3 of them had actually all four of them had like I think Jaden Reed's like one of the only guys that like didn't have a major like thing like kind of red flag or weird thing happen. Tank Dell got shot and Diggs got added. Rice got the car crash, Addison DUI potentially, and then what was the other one? Flowers with the domestic thing, right? So it's like there's every one of these guys has had something happen this
But Reed has the concerns about the competition and his snap counts never being astronomically high. So like there's something about everyone.
It's the Watson splits. That gets me on the Reed. So
he's the one that scares me. I don't know what to do with him. But so let's pivot from second year guys to someone going into their 5th season, looking for a lot of money, requesting a trade. That is Mr. Brandon Ayuk. So how does that news affect you as a Dynasty owner? Does it affect you at all? How do you even feel about that? Not even Dynasty related, just as a football fan. How does this whole requesting a trade kind of make you feel?
I mean, I'll just start, I guess. And I mean, I did just trade for him in the league, and I got Purdy in the trade as well. So like, it'd be kind of interesting. It is funny because like I sent away Herbert in the deal, and like I could totally go to the Chargers if he like gets traded next season or something. But my whole thing is like, there's no way Ayuk's getting traded or Debo. There's no way that any of these guys are leaving, in my opinion. In this offseason, it just doesn't happen when you just go to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I get the speculation like he's
because they have to take advantage of this Purdy on this cheap ass deal one more year.
This is the year that like
they have to run it back. But how do you get him on board? How do you incentivize him enough? Because clearly he's wanting. I mean, I think he's wanting someone with a 30.
He has no leverage. His incentive
really doesn't
like go out and ball
except to sit out
and get a contract.
Like
make his value more, like Jefferson just did last year by not signing. So, I think like this is not even anything to worry about until 2025. Like in my opinion, and in that next season, whatever happens, like he probably won't be a Niner. But what do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about Ayuk. I mean, certainly you don't like to have uncertainty around a player about like, is he going to hold out? Is he going to get traded to like a worse team or whatever? But I think with Ayuk, I think if you own him, you just got to take the approach of like, don't overthink it. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Once we get to week 1, I think there's a very good chance that he's on the field playing football and most likely for the 49ers. So I think it's just a situation to just kind of like, don't worry about it too much. Focus on other things, and it'll probably all be fine once we, get around to the season.
Once we take a breath.
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued with him and Higgins if they change teams or go to different teams. I'm intrigued by how that will go, and if you can stock up on them. Higgins, I feel like I've felt that way for like 3 years, so it's getting to the point where it's like, would I rather just have Chris Godwin and producing maybe more than Higgins? I don't know. Like, can I keep waiting around for this like value spike? It felt like when he was up around that wide receiver 12-ish range, like that might have been the T Higgins like sell window. And
he was going really
I don't know, but just it's like this. We know it's going to happen. He's going to be on a different team. We speculate, but it's kind of just this like head case battle of how long can I hold on this player, or how long can I hold out hope for a value increase? I don't know.
Do any of you guys own T Higgins in any Dynasty?
No,
I have a few. I have a few shares. I think I have him in BDG 20.
Okay.
I can't think of many others. I think I just recently bought T Higgins. Recently. It's on that really bad team that we looked at recently.
Okay.
The one that I'm in that is just to the studs.
Did you target hit like T Higgins in that one, or?
I don't know exactly. I think it was, geez, I can't even find the right league. It was me wanting to get off Keon Coleman
Oh yeah,
and
okay, yeah,
get into this business of like, okay, well maybe T Higgins will spike in value. So like I bought into it. I'm seeing if it can work out. He kind of fits this team. Um, and I got rid of Kenneth Walker
okay,
to, so I guess that was more so the move, like Kenneth Walker and T Higgins, and then I got some picks back. I got some seconds and stuff.
yeah,
So got rid of some running back points. Got T Higgins, who I don't think he's going to ruin a rebuild by scoring 20 something points a week.
yeah.
Yeah,
Not.
I think he's still young enough that
Yeah.
that's still an asset that you could buy into with the possibility of him increasing in value. I mean, especially once he goes to a new team, there will be some new hope. Narrative. So
maybe I just cash in on that. That's kind of the.
I got this like, I don't know. You ever just get like a gut feeling? I liked T Higgins a lot last couple years for just like redraft and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just got this really bad gut feeling that like if he changes teams and like ends up
it might not be what we think it's going to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm really scared of is when receivers that are like really good attached to a really good quarterback. And again, you could actually say this in the Ayuk thing, but like Ayuk is. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of like landing spots out there, and we know Ayuk is like put up like some just insane numbers from efficiency standpoint. Where I mean, yeah, T Higgins has been solid, but he's been,
he's been solid. Like he's just been solid.
Yeah.
I think he's just, if you can slot him in as like your wide receiver 3, or if he's just like a flex option for you, that's probably what I would be the happiest with.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a cornerstone piece anymore.
Yeah,
like at least in my my
Yeah.
heart, I don't feel like, oh, this is a pillar of the team. But
I'm not trying to like build around T Higgins as a piece. But I do think that he could be better in his next stop. I mean, you wouldn't think so because like, okay, odds are his quarterback is going to be worse than Burrow rather than better because Burrow is really damn good. But the one thing to keep in mind is I was hearing something recently about how the Bengals run almost like very little motion. Yeah. They do very little play action. And those are two things that, stats will show you really help you increase like your per play efficiency.
Devontae Smith alert.
Yeah. Oh, baby.
Kellen Moore, baby.
Yeah.
Loves pre-snap motion.
It's possible that, I mean, the Bengals are leaving a lot of meat on the bone for guys like Chase and Higgins.
By not
doing those things. So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. I think I saw something like that like as well. And yeah, I mean, that's a good point. But I don't know.
Didn't Zach Taylor come from the Rams? Isn't he a Sean McVay disciple?
I remember.
I could have sworn he was. I think that's how he got hired because he was attached to McVay.
They must have played in the Super Bowl then because Zach Taylor was the coach back then. How long has Zach Taylor been there for? Since like 2020 or? I can't remember. No.
This is his 6th season, so 2018 going into 19.
With the Bengals, all of them.
2019. Yeah, he was.
Wow. Yeah. You're Andrew. You're right. Zach Taylor served as assistant coach for Sean McVay.
Okay, there you go. So yeah.
And he nice to attach himself to Burrow. So, but I'm saying that because I'm surprised that he doesn't run more because the Rams are like notorious for that.
Yeah, exactly. And Shanahan and all that.
Yeah,
like they had to run their motion every play damn near. So, the Dolphins, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, interesting. He must be one of those old headed guys. I've been listening to a lot of coach talk. Let's real quick. Who do you think's like got to be like the no motion coach this year? Like maybe not like the Arthur Smith of this year or the Matt Canada, but just like this guy's gonna be playing like it's like 1920 football. I got a good one. And this is not even I totally agree with it, but it was someone else's. I think it was someone from ETR's.
And you're going off purely offense perspective.
You're just like running like a way outdated offense and probably running the ball a ton. Mine would be Antonio Pierce. Just like go out there and just ground and pound the ball, no motion. Just let's
see it, Zamir White. Let's see it.
Yeah, heavy personnel like.
I'm trying to think, like my initial thought went to Seattle with McDonald because he's a defensive guy, but he brought in the Washington offensive coordinator, who that's not his. So I think they'll
I
be
don't think
fine.
there's any chance. That
Maybe the
gonna
Titans isn't who's the Titans
no,
coach?
the Titans are. I think
Callahan. I know is the.
I think they're going to be extremely pass heavy.
Really? Because I thought Callahan is an offensive line like guru or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he was. Or no, I thought Grubb
His
was.
dad was or something.
Grubb was like an offensive line coach. I think. I like who's the Seahawks.
I mean, they don't really have a great running back to run like an old system with. They do have the more versatile kind of players.
I think all the weapons around Levis would be suggesting that they're going to be passing a lot, but
true,
could be wrong.
I hope so.
They also
be
have
more
a
fun
line, so I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. That doesn't help either.
But Will Levis got that thing. So,
hey,
what's up?
Segue to the underdog draft. I did want to respond to something that you said earlier, Andrew, with the Aspen discussion. You were talking about the idea of past points per game being a pretty good indication of like future points per game. But think about this: like, who's the number one wide receiver in Dynasty right now? Most people would probably say CeeDee Lamb, right?
Yeah.
JJ baby.
CD, JJ, yeah.
He's right up there. I mean, top three, right? Well, look at CeeDee Lamb's rookie season, 935 yards receiving. I mean, that's fewer than Addison last season. So you got to remember that things don't happen immediately. So like, again, like it's just a kind of a reminder that we don't know exactly what these receivers going into their second season are. It doesn't, I'm not saying all of them are going to become CeeDee Lamb, but we just don't know. So just something to keep in mind.
Very true.
Like imagine if everyone was acting back in, after the 2020 season, which was CeeDee Lamb's rookie season, if everyone was acting then like, oh, I'm bored by these rookie receivers that only had 900 yards.
Yeah.
Imagine selling,
was Amari Cooper there for 2 of the years CD was, or just the 1 and then he left?
The 2.
2? Okay. So that second season was more in line with like the CD we know now. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the third year that they lost the Ayuk there, and then
gotcha.
The Cooper.
Amari Cooper for like that was honestly, I hate the Cowboys for doing that. Like looking back now, paying Zeke, not paying, like they didn't want to pay him $20 million a year. That was one of the stupidest pivots they made.
Yeah. Now that they got him back, it's coming full circle. They're bringing him in for $500,000.
That'd be interesting.
Whatever they got, but I don't know what his contract is. But anyways, so yeah, let's Green,
let's
if you're still in
Let's
here,
fire it up.
We'll give you a minute and give you a little countdown if you want to join or if anyone else is in here. But hey, we've had some fun drafts. This is gonna be fast paced, so let's I always want to hear it. Like being the guy behind the picking the players and starring the players.
The clicker.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real twitchy here with the.
Do we want to go in with like any sort of stipulations about certain rounds, what we're talking, like do we want to have any of that, or are we going to just really play the board?
Let's look at the breakdown for the payout first of all.
I want first place.
Extremely top heavy, so let's just build the best or worst team possible here. Like I don't care about floor.
That's what I think that's the word I was looking for earlier that I could not find is differentiated. Like let's just be a complete contrarian here, like
and
whatever that may be.
And I'm completely fine that if we wanna like this is the type of tournament to take your little reaches and get really unique because I mean this tournament's only gonna be out for until it's just gonna fill in this week or whatever, right? So and then no one else can draft. So if we want to take shots on rookies, whatever it is, situations, this is the time to do it. And,
okay.
Yeah. So
that means that we don't have to worry about ADP as much because it's not like there's a lot of time for like someone to go down in ADP and then it kind of ruins your odds of beating that team.
Yeah, exactly. Like if say we take Vidal right now and then all of a sudden he's the starting running back week 1, we don't have to worry about anyone drafting him on their team, like him being whatever, or maybe it's a guy that's not owned at all. Bub Means. Let's just say it's Bub Means because we have, but it's Let's just say we get Bub Means. He's gonna be on 0 rosters, and if we had him and he was like on the field producing, we're the only guy with him, and we're winning the tournament. But no, if he's pooking.
So this could be the kind of draft where we could just kind of like take our guys and take some chances and just kind of have some fun with it.
Yeah, like look at the payout. It's so top heavy. I mean, we gotta win. So
Yeah, okay.
Let's.
We
So
have
to
to.
be different.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
We'll accept
not
nothing
worth
less.
it. Yeah, not even worth it. We'll just like donate this money to charity.
Can you
for
imagine turning
5,000.
$5 into 200K? Like
Oh,
that's
that'd be
just
awesome.
like
Yeah.
by clicking football players. Like just think
Oh,
about
yeah.
that. Like, hey, how'd you make your money? How'd you buy this house? Well,
clicked
I
a
clicked some
couple.
buttons that are
Yeah.
green and they draft.
You know that your mouse.
What a time to be
I clicked
alive.
that. I clicked my mouse 18 times.
Yeah, what a time to be alive. I love that.
All right.
I have my week 17 games just pulled up just off to the side. Just
Oh, nice. Yeah.
if there's like maybe like a swing factor to it.
I truly think this is the tournament. Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe set week 17. I don't know. That'd be good.
Do you want to not? Do you want to not focus on it?
No, I don't know. I'm a little torn because like I truly think under Best Ball Mania like week 17 is all that matters because you're against 700,000 people. How many people are in this one? This is a really big tournament as well. So like I'm gonna be under the. I'm gonna be leaning towards the week 17 stuff. The fact that there's 225,000 people you're competing against, and it's gonna be that means it's gonna be a large final. I'm gonna try to find it real quick. Can't. But anyways, it's gonna be like a lot of people in the finals, which you don't care as much about week 17 if it's a smaller contest. Does that make sense? So if it was a 30K entrance, I'd be much more concerned about week 16 and 15 and stuff. So anyways, let's jump in here. 3, 2, 1 for the YouTube chat. If Green was still hanging in here.
Interesting to see what pick we get.
Yeah.
Because if we get the turn, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it could almost help because we were picking between like.
Oh dang! Green got another one.
Oh darn it!
He says maybe the next
one. Oh my bad. Hey, you can always enter another one and drop to 20-second clocks at a time.
It's okay. You can lock down second first, Green. We'll take first, and then we'll just all be happy.
Oh my bad, man. Yeah, I was trying to get a good countdown for you there, and we unfortunately I guess did not. But
where are we?
We're
okay.
4, so I mean, yeah, pretty.
A little bit of horn. That's all good.
I mean, yeah, it's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, Blake, is that where we picked from in our last draft yesterday?
Yeah, we went with Chase for just ADP. Followed it. Yesterday.
So did it go McCaffrey, Lamb, Hill? Is that how it went?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do really like Jefferson, and we were saying, hey, maybe with Addison potentially missing a couple games, maybe that makes Jefferson even like more useful. But I don't know. I don't think it's like necessary to get too crazy on your first pick when you're just sitting here. Just take whoever the hell you want. But is there? I don't know. We were saying how basically the top 6 picks is just like insane. You get like Amon-Ra St. Brown or like Jefferson at pick 6. I mean, what a world to live in right now.
That's true. CD1 like
so
that.
What do we think here? By the way, are we again? This is completely fine to just go crazy.
Well, if CMC follows us, we'll take that.
Oh wow, is he still on there?
No, he did not. All right, so we got Jamar, JJ, Amon. I love all 3. If y'all took Jamar yesterday, I'd say mix it up.
Jefferson. Yeah, sure. Let's go Jefferson. Yeah. And let's see. The reason I've been saying I don't really like Amon-Ra as much is because he's so chalked with the Niners receivers like every draft in second round, so you're like not unique. And then also, then it's just a really hard game to stack. Everyone's so expensive, so yeah, I definitely like Chase and Jefferson more just for that reason. But,
yeah, and the Vikings play the Packers week 17. So
really fun.
That in mind.
Vikings at home too. I think that can help. It's not like a late at Lambeau in the cold.
That's got to be like one of the only like dome games for cold weather teams because me and Dan were looking when we were drafting a team, and we're like, Cowboys, Eagles, right? Because Cowboys are inside, and we're like, Philly. Of course they play in Philly, and so on.
Dolphins in Cleveland. That's
that's the other one. And I think the underrated one is the Raiders and the Saints do play indoors. I don't even know who is who, but they are both indoors. So
yeah, Raiders at Saints.
Yeah, Dan.
Seahawks at Bears.
Draft for that.
Yeah, but I hate that game in Cleveland with the Dolphins. Like
Yeah.
that's just the worst place that you want to play in like December.
Chiefs at Steelers.
But didn't they just play in Cleveland on week 17 the Jets, and then like it was an absolute shootout? So
was it?
Yeah, that was the game that was like winning people money. Joe Flacco was lighting it up. Bruce Hall
yeah,
had,
the
like,
Thursday
30
game.
points.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So
you're
I mean, it could be
totally
cold as long as it's just not snowing. So I think it's like,
Yeah, snow and wind.
you know, I think sometimes you know, you don't have to worry about as much. Maybe if like people are fading that game, you know, in Cleveland or whatever, maybe it's good to attack it.
Yeah, it's a good reminder not to like overthink things too much. There are always exceptions to that. But, yeah, on paper, it's not exciting. It doesn't sound.
I really think that we could guess the weather in December, guys. I think we can do.
Holy crap.
Well, yeah, I mean, we could guess it, but like whether it.
Oh,
like,
that's a sexy start. Puka
there's fantasy football points.
Wilson. That's nice.
Dude, this guy, yeah, Garrett Wilson at 15. What the heck? I mean, that is insane.
That's nice.
So what are we thinking here? Coming back around with Jefferson.
Got a couple.
And I'm just thinking, yeah, again, it's not terribly unique, but obviously it's hard to do in your first two picks.
I'm thinking wide receiver.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan for the Adams, Waddle, and then even Devonta Smith. Like, but I think we get Devonta Smith. No, we're not gonna get him on the next pick, but I'm fine with these three guys. But if you got a case for anyone else, I mean, let me know. The chain's been falling a bit recently.
That's the one I was like, I would maybe consider if I was really trying to go different, but I don't know.
I mean, Chain is
I
definitely
don't
a fun
know.
pick, but
He is. He's been falling recently a lot, though. Like, I don't think these guys are gonna fall at all. You don't want to get behind.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'd prefer Waddle.
Prefer
I'd prefer
Waddle?
Waddle.
Okay. Chain has been like I think. I don't know. I got him in a draft, really like in like 30 or something, or maybe like.
Oh wow.
Maybe
I'd
for
take
Dan
that.
and I, like he was like dropping almost. I don't know. Something weird happened with Chain. I've just been seeing him fall for some reason, but you know, it doesn't here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I was torn about is like, as a tiebreaker, do you prefer to get the guy who's like the number one receiver on his team versus like the number two?
Yeah.
Do you guys like put much into that, at least as like a tiebreaker, or what are your thoughts?
Probably maybe more like so in redraft, but in best ball, maybe I just don't care as much because people can get hurt and you don't have to make any lineup decisions, and you know.
Yeah, because I mean,
you can still
have if that number two can still produce the like weekly boom games of the other, even though they're one, like the Mike Evans versus like a Waddle or something.
We're up, by the way.
And then,
I'm gonna cut you off real quick. What are we thinking here? Like, again, if we can go running back, but it's not really like a value. I mean, I do like Kyron, but
kind of like Stephon Diggs. But I mean, who do you like? I mean, this clock is so quick.
Yeah. What do you think, Andrews? Diggs?
Yeah, Diggs is cool.
All right. Yeah, I mean, between.
I feel like he's been faded too, to where even if he
he's
half decent.
We're in this exact same slot, Dan and I last time,
Mhm.
and same decisions. So this time we went like the inverse, because we were picking between Cup and Diggs. We went Cup. So this time,
if I had about 5 more seconds, I probably would have said Cup.
Yeah, I'm a Cup guy personally, but I think it's fine.
I feel like they're very similar,
Yeah.
like in the sense of. But I say that I actually think Cup could do more, and I think if I had to really put something in one player for a year, I think I'd go Cup. Same offense, same quarterback. If he's healthy, it's obviously just boils down to that, but.
Yeah, I think you're right. At least
a lot less factors in play than Diggs to a whole new team, new offense, new quarterback. So
the one thing I guess that's like a good thing here for Diggs, beside like the player take stuff, is that it gets you a little bit unique when you reach a tiny bit picks. You know, it's just a little bit of uniqueness when you're 4 picks is pretty big when you're in the top 3 rounds like that. So
that's true.
Yeah, my argument for Diggs is that he was an absolute stud last season until they switched offensive coordinators and started running the football more. He's a stud year in, year out. Now he goes to a quarterback that makes like pretty much every wide receiver that he plays with look really amazing, and fantasy stud. Whether it's Nico Collins, who was like a mid-round pick, Tank Dell was a 3rd-round pick. Look at like JSN, the stud in college, and his rookie season, jury's kind of out. So now he actually gets a receiver who's a stud with whomever he plays with a quarterback. I think that's a pretty deadly combination, and I'm pretty excited about Stephon Diggs this year.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm the only one.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying, what is he, like wide receiver 24 or something crazy?
There's no like tight end premium or anything, right? This is just half PPR.
Yeah. Half PPR. Touchdowns are king in this format. So one thing that Dan and I were discussing last time, we went with like a 2-6-8-2, but we were kind of planning on 2-7-7-2, and basically like our thought is like
2-7. Wow. Okay.
Our thought was like if elite quarterback and tight end are really discounted this year from like recency bias and stuff like that, where like Hurts was going second round, now he's like going fourth round. So, I mean, we went Lamar last time. I mean, he's up on the board here. Or we go like a guy like Kelsey and then like try to get Mahomes. I mean, that would be a pretty good chance we get like Mahomes and Kelsey.
Yeah.
If he's there.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that.
Kelsey's gone. Okay.
Yeah.
We could apply the same thing with Lamar and Andrews.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we get. No, we
Is that what y'all did?
No, we got
No,
We do the same thing with Trey and Kyler.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Actually, I don't mind that too much. The only issue is
I don't know how that breakdown is though. Kyler's way later.
Well, we could get Kyler. I
we could
think.
snag.
If
we could snag Trey.
If you wanted to go Trey, yeah, and then
I love Trey McBride.
Yeah, let's do it, and then I don't mind that at all.
Like value wise, I'm not fully keeping up with like where we are ADP wise, but just as a player and what he showed, I'm really excited for him.
Yeah, I mean that's
I love Trey McBride as well. If we had more time on the clock, I would have made a case at least to consider Travis Etienne. I think he could be a stud just on not only volume this season, but like also I'm expecting more efficiency because I think he's a pretty talented running back. I think the Jags line was just really awful last season and held him back. I believe they've done some things to address that. So, and I think the Jags just kind of had an off year in general. So like, I think, ETN could potentially have one of those kind of legend type of seasons.
One pickup, we got to make a.
I know is so ADP wise. Okay, yeah, Kyler, we're decent with Kyler.
Yeah, we can wait till the next turns. Is there a running back we really like here? Because I don't know about receiver. Like, I don't like these receivers at all.
I don't like the receivers either.
I mean, I like Ridley, but I know.
Okay, but this is the time to take Jacobs. Okay, this is the time to take him.
I'd be okay with that.
I'm happy with it.
White over White.
What? I actually like White's a better pick, but
I like Jacobs. Packers, baby.
Yeah, we got the Packers theme, but we can at least stack. The Jacobs, the Jefferson. I have no Jacobs, so I mean, I was kind of like.
I'd even factor in the stack.
So I think the bring back makes it.
I
just think we're not that far removed from him leading the league in rushing, and this is a Packers system that really we've seen running backs do really well in it, and I mean, is the fear that Marshawn Lloyd's gonna like steal snaps? I feel like you don't bring in a guy of that caliber for that much money to. We've seen them balance running backs in the past is kind of maybe my point there.
Yeah. I think I've been just like, so I'm always like the backup running back guy that, it's easy to just like completely pass on the guy that's actually going to be on the field a lot. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind when I kind of get forced into the Jacobs thing. And if they're good offense, you want running backs and good offenses. So
yeah, which it's projected to be. It'll be an exciting one to watch.
I think the argument against Jacobs is not only is he probably going to be splitting workload to some degree, but also he had that season 2 years ago where he led the NFL in rushing. He had a ton of touches that season. I think I was like seeing recently on like another YouTube video about like the historical data about when a running back like has a season like that like typically like they're never quite the same after that, and they never have a season approaching that ever again.
Yeah.
So I'm just not sure
usage.
Back to that, but I think it makes sense. I mean, I could certainly see a good year on a good offense and being the main guy. And it makes sense with the bring back. So I'm okay with the pick, but in a vacuum, I'd lean Rachaad White because I think he could be more of a workhorse.
Yeah, the one thing though, at least, is like if he gets this goal line stuff and they're good offense, like touchdowns are really really drive a good pick in this. I think especially a running back too, like because receiving work only matters so much.
Yeah. So I think that's a decent
Can
argument.
Of
can
course,
you go back to like go back to all players?
Yeah.
Scroll down. Is Kyler the next quarterback up?
He
So
is, yeah.
I want to see the picks before us. So he doesn't have a quarterback. So we could get sniped on Kyler right now. I don't think the next guy would pick him. So
we could.
I'm trying to think about
One
would he get back
guy-
through the horn?
There's no Marv owner though in between us. Like I'd be willing to risk it just if we see anything we like Romadou. I don't know if we like Rome, but
Okay, so Pitts. So I mean, this guy now.
Christian Watson won't be there. Like we could go heavy Packer, like and then try to get Love too. Maybe we could like double up on elite quarterback, and then like we could at least have a bailout on Kyler. If we don't get Kyler, we can go like focus on Love.
Can you go to the QB tab?
It is.
So our backup is Love or Daniels maybe, because I want a rusher. Like I want someone that can run and score touchdowns.
I mean, we can like backstack. I think it just like plays into our upside if we go Watson. And
Okay.
Like, playing this week 17, I think Watson's like kind of underrated. Like I mean, I don't know. I kind of just put him up there. Addison is in there too. That made sense. Like I actually really like Addison. I forgot that he was there, but I think we could just because we have the Green Bay running back. We don't know if we're gonna get Kyler. It kind of makes sense to play into the Green Bay side here, and Jefferson's our bring back on this game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I like Christian Watson in best ball and half PPR. I think he's just very well suited to that. We don't have to worry about when to start him. You know, he's probably not going to be like a big, like high receptions guy. So I think he suits this format well and works with the bring back as well.
What happens if Kyler's picked here? I don't think he's going to be, but
if who's picked?
If Kyler's picked.
I think this would be the spot. If he's going to get sniped, it would be there. Okay.
Yeah,
he didn't. So
yeah, there we go.
I think that's a smash.
Yeah. I'm fine reaching on our guys, but when it makes no sense for anyone at all to pick a Kyler, you know, he's a rusher, so that's a little risky. But I don't know. I'm willing to take a risk like that to get a ceiling, and now we kind of got a nice little thing going here with.
Yeah, I think it looks like a pretty solid team so far.
I like that right now.
Was it last week we were talking about like the Packers receivers, and yeah, Christian Watson's pretty exciting from a best ball standpoint, and now I don't know, he must be rising because I thought he was behind JSN, but I don't know. These guys are always shifting around, but
yeah.
Maybe
and I mean, it's nice that we can still look at this board and see like the James Connors, the.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was gonna say, I don't know.
Did you catch our draft yesterday? What did it end up looking like?
No, I didn't see the end result.
We went 0 RB to like pick 90, and we went Mostert, Robinson, Gus Edwards, and then like Corum and stuff. Like it ended up being really good for like 0 RB, right? Like we got kind of bailed by the room, but
yeah, and it was Brian Robinson, not to be
yeah.
Oh, yeah, Brian, yeah. And we were just
I figured.
Like, we were like
B Robinson,
QB, yeah, we were like elite QB, elite receiver, elite tight end. So I mean, having like that, like running back room was like pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were excited just kind of like stack up some like boring, productive running backs to go along with like being stacked everywhere else. So we thought that was kind of a nice build.
So we're only 5 picks away now.
Dan, do you ever play on do you have an underdog account? Do you play or no?
No, I don't have one because it was illegal in Michigan up until recently.
Because I was thinking it'd be kind of fun if we all drafted at the same time against each other.
Oh yeah.
That would be interesting.
Is still legal?
If you don't though,
I thought you said it might have been
in Michigan.
Like I thought you said, Dan. I thought you said it was good. No,
I feel like basically you can either legally sports bet on just like actual sports betting, or you can play on these DFS sites. That's very much the divide.
So we're up.
I don't know which one Michigan is.
What are we thinking here for like construction? We can kind of take like anything here.
Did Jordan Love go?
He didn't, but he's. I mean, if we really want to go, we're picking a few spots, and I don't think it makes sense.
We could probably wait at the.
We could take him the other way around and just be done at QB.
Yeah.
Is there anyone we even like right now? Though is the thing.
I'm about to like.
Do you like
my flag on Bowers, but I don't think that's a great pick.
Go to receiver. Are there any good receivers?
No. We could go Bowers, and we could go Love if you want to go like double elite, like QB and tight end, and then just stack everything else into receiver and running back the rest of the draft. I don't know.
I mean, I don't love rookie tight ends in
Yeah, I
general.
don't.
If you feel strongly about it, I mean, I'd go along
Just
with
go.
it.
Yeah, I mean, just go
Get a running
Love,
back.
and
Yeah.
we don't feel anything about anybody right now. So
I wouldn't mind it though. We at least get like the upside behind McBride to like just have like 2 crushing tight ends and then 2 crushing quarterbacks potentially in this, and then just everything else goes into RB and.
Yeah, I'd be okay.
no,
with
I think the
Bowers
construct is
goes.
really solid right now.
Yeah. So we can.
Who's like a really cheap Cardinals receiver?
Greg Dortch.
There's a lot of them. Yeah, Dortch,
Okay.
Michael Wilson.
I'm just trying to think of some late, and I mean, we could get like the Wicks type later.
Yeah. So we're about to be up.
Interesting.
We should probably for build go RB at this point.
I know. I don't hate Swift. I don't hate
Yeah, I like
Singletary. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, you
I'm
guys,
higher on
if
Swift
you,
than most.
I'm the Brian Robinson or Tony Pollard guy here, or Spears, but I mean, if you want Swift, I mean, we could just take him.
I don't have any Swift, and I have this feeling that he could kind of be decent.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it should be a good offense, and
Yeah.
I mean, he's a pretty good fantasy running back. So, like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what's not to like about him.
I'll let majority rule on this one.
No exposure. Yeah, I mean,
I'm just like, I don't know. I think you know how Dan, you were saying that Zach Moss can be the
Miles Sanders.
I think really DeAndre Swift could be the Miles Sanders. It's like
really.
and again, this could just be the recency bias. I don't know. I think he's an explosive, fun running back, but I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna be. Again, he's cheap though. He is cheap, so I get the explosive upside. I get. Yeah, I'd be just kind of scared of him completely losing, like a fantasy relevant role. But
To
I mean, the
Roshan?
Lions couldn't just like a backfield, a 3-headed monster, whatever it is. But
Okay.
I mean, the Lions couldn't like get rid of him quick enough. Like they literally drafted Gibbs at like what was it, pick 12 or something.
12, yeah.
To,
I mean,
like,
people have short memories, though. I mean, I know Swift had some injury issues, but like when he was out there, like in the early years for the Lions, like he was awesome, and he was
fantastic. Per touch, he was fantastic,
Oh,
but
yeah, I love
he couldn't get
Swift
enough
on the
touches
Lions.
because he was hurt.
yeah, and like
Yeah.
I mean, he's a pretty good player. I know people like criticize his position and everything, but like he's a pretty good football player.
I think
And-
perception is a lot rougher on him than like. I'm pretty sure he's been an RB2 almost every season in the league.
Yeah, so like I
Um,
think it's a lot more like narrative and just sort of groupthink than it is actual like reality. And I think people just forget how good he was, like when he was on the Lions. Well, he was pretty good for the Eagles last year too. Would have been
He
better
was.
if
he got those
wasn't for
tutties.
Hurts stealing all the touchdowns. So now that's not going to be an issue this season.
Pray for Jacoby to fall to us.
And the Bears went
Jacoby.
out. The Bears went out and signed Swift in free agency like very quickly and gave him a nice contract. So
Pretty good money.
I think
Yeah.
they did that to put him in like a 3-headed committee. So like I think Swift is.
I wouldn't think so.
The thing is, like, I think of like the other backs in there of just being like pretty useful, like in their own roles. Like I like Roshan. I like Herbert's just like been a really efficient running back. What are we thinking here though, real quick? So we have Myers for ADP, and then we could like double tap with Wicks or something. I mean, we're not guaranteed.
Oh, just hit me with Jacoby Myers. Don't do it.
Would we have to lean toward Wicks, or could we get him later?
It obviously really makes sense for Wicks, but I mean,
It does.
Again, we could play risky and like we won't get Myers for sure. Like we have Love,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
like again, I'm willing to lean into some risk. That I like Myers
Yeah.
too. I think Myers
Because
around
you're-
57 is like he's gonna murder.
In a
that.
vacuum, you prefer Myers, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm good with that.
I mean, we do already have like a bunch of Green Bay stuff too, so if we miss out on, we can still go get Tucker Kraft or Musgrave or something. So.
Oh, I didn't know you were drafting. I thought you were going Wicks.
Oh no!
I
I'm
thought
going
you were.
Myers
I
for
thought you were.
for
I
the
thought you were
upside, yeah.
pitching. I thought you were pitching the Wicks Love connection, kind of like outweighs the
No.
Myers.
I mean, I'm
I like it.
pitching the fact that no one else hopefully drafts him because we have Love.
Yeah.
No one has a true reason to draft him unless they have like Minnesota, or
Yep.
just really like him, which is always possible. But
Yeah,
And I think you want to kind of
all these folks too already have pretty high number of receivers to where you're getting to.
yeah, I'm worried about this guy right here. Oh, he already picked, so we might be good here. And
This
then
guy's got an interesting little build going 0-4-5-1. Like It's gonna have to do some late round quarterback and tight end stuff.
Although I just noticed Chase Brown's on the board. I'm pretty high on him, so I think that would be tempting.
There's enough like running backs there. I think we could just get someone else. Like Wicks just makes too much sense for this build.
Yeah, for sure.
And I love that too, because if Watson goes down, Wicks gets more time. Like it's a fun, it's a fun pick there.
I mean, what if it's like, this is how I always like to think about it when you get the couple guys, like, or if it was like Jefferson Addison. What if you need Wicks in week 16 and then in week 17 it's Watson or vice versa, right? Mm-hmm. If you have them on the same team with Love, like, I don't know, it's good for advancing and winning money, but let's.
Yeah, I just saw some report yesterday where Jordan Love was quoted as saying that like Wicks is going to have a monster season. So I thought that was interesting. I mean, it's just it's so crazy.
Can we please draft Tucker Kraft like very last round?
Okay, I was thinking it, but here's my issue now. We'd be like extremely exposed.
Very exposed
to the Packers because
we don't need to be.
I think that was my backup plan though. Was like if we don't get Wicks, then we go get Tucker Kraft last round. I mean, we could always see what happens.
I released a video on him, and it's like I do not think he needs to be drafted under Musgrave.
Oh, I know. I agree. The only reason,
by as far as he is.
Yeah, the only reason that I'm a little like is because he has like that pec surgery. But if he's good to go by training camp, then I mean he took the job, so I would lean Kraft in that.
Yeah, it's just so weird how they like one was playing and the other injured, and then like or not injured but just playing, and then when he got injured, so it's just such a weird dynamic.
Yeah, like
people are being like,
the
people are like draft capital. I'm like round 2 versus round 3. Like, come on, it's LaFleur. He doesn't care. There is no like sunken cost dilemma in the NFL. Like if you're ass, you're gonna get cut. And I'm not saying Musgrave is ass. I'm saying they just have 2 good tight ends. So if you can get Bradford cheap, and I'll step off the box now.
No, I mean I think just getting the cheaper guy in that case, and he's much cheaper, is like the good decision.
Cheaper and could produce similar. So
I mean, could produce better. Like he had the job.
Could produce.
He literally took the job from him in the playoffs and everything. So
because Kraft kept the job even once Musgrave.
That's true.
Healthy,
that was nice to see.
Oh shoot.
Ooh, you're gonna plead your case. Let's hear it.
No, I was about to pitch Dowdle. I'm like, guys, like in biggest backfield on a good team, but I don't know now. I mean, we can't really take a look. We can't take a look at it all. We like
let's do your Vidal theory.
Let's see here okay. What if we went like Vidal and like Jalen Wright the next pick or something crazy?
Oh,
just like shoot for the ceiling. Then we can play really safe with like a Foreman week 17 thing like really late.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that, taking a shot on Vidal. But I mean, how much are we considering Chandler with the Vikings factor?
I'm not too much because we got our bring back already. We don't want to be like so exposed that game. I don't think so, in my opinion.
Okay, and you think you want to go Vidal over Condre? Just like take a chance.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit uniqueness now. We're reaching a bit, and we get guys that are going back to back in ADP, assuming we're gonna get Jalen Wright, which we should.
Yeah.
And again, another bet on Miami.
Cluster. Yeah.
We could always get a Patriot.
Yeah, to go against the Chargers. Okay.
We get Hunter Henry. I mean, I really like Hunter Henry for the second tight end, but
yeah, I saw that like the team that won last year was constructed like a 3-6-6-3 or something, which I guess isn't very standard. From what I heard.
It was
I'm always intrigued by that.
I think it would be a 3-5-6-3 is what it was. And he you know what's awesome and why I really love this, Minnesota Green Bay game? He was super exposed to Green Bay and Minnesota. We're good with Wright here.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he had Jaden Reed, I believe. He had Love, and I don't know. He must have had a Minnesota. Maybe he had Jefferson or something. I can't remember like who it was. I know that he also had like hit on Kyron and Tank Dell or Puka, one of the two. So yeah, taking like notes from his winning draft. I don't know. He week 17 was all that mattered, and I mean, I'm on case with the let's really play out some week 17 stuff if you want to win money. But
yeah, and I love the upside of those two specific running backs and Vidal and Wright. Just super high upside. I mean, you want Dolphins running backs just in general, and then same thing. Obviously, like same thing with the Chargers, with how much we are expecting them to run, and the fact that kind of like wide open in terms of like a guy kind of taking control perhaps of that backfield if he just sort of catches fire. So I think those are two teams that you want to have running backs on.
So we got 6 receivers. Yeah, so our issue now, though, is, like, we do need to account for the fact that, you know, there's certainly a chance these guys get fired up late in this scenario. We need to, like... I'm seeing Hubbard right now, like, dude...
I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
I've been hearing a lot of stuff about Canales being, like, I can be really stubborn, like, and run the ball a lot or something like that. And, I've liked Brooks as a pick and underdog, but I also like Chuba lots, too, because... And he's just like a guy that can be front weighted, and there's always the upside that he's on the field regardless. You know, maybe Brooks gets a setback, whatever it is.
Yeah, he could just, at worst, he's like a high upside handcuff if and when Brooks takes over.
That's generally how I'm viewing him. The market has been really rising on him, unfortunately, but I think he's like perfect for this build. We don't have a buck, but we can always get one if we need.
And it allows us to like be patient on Wright and Vidal, that they wouldn't have to produce right away.
Exactly, yeah. We need to advance the team at the end of the day. We're really good at receiver, quarterback, and tight end right now. So,
yeah, I like that.
You know, my only other thing would be, hey, there's Hunter Henry there too, but I'm willing to see if he drops because we do have no fan.
Hey, Demarcus Robinson, what are you talking about?
Yo, we were. He's like super expensive, and Dan and I really liked Demarcus Robinson.
It's interesting.
He's really expensive. That's all I gotta say about
it. There's not many receivers I would like there.
I like Wandale.
I didn't say anything, but I actually kind of like Fant a lot too.
Oh yeah, me too.
He makes sense because we have a Chicago Bear as well. But
true.
You know, he could be there our next pick. I didn't realize how far
down
ADP already is, but.
Oh, is he? Okay. Yeah, we took him in yesterday's draft.
Did we? Yeah, I've been taking a lot of Fant.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he could be in for a really big season. They got rid of their other tight ends and passing the ball this season, we think. We know his talent. I just think he's been underutilized.
Yeah. I'm trying to
if he gets to us, I wouldn't hate it. Oh, he didn't. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
I've been
taking. I've been loving Sanat, but I want him on Jaden Daniels teams. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Otherwise, I'd be okay. Wow, we got to take something.
Oh yeah, both the Robinsons went.
Anybody?
I don't like receiver.
Conklin?
I was thinking.
I don't hate Cade. Yeah, I don't.
He's just gonna be running routes. That's my only.
Is Baker still on the board?
He is. Oh no, he's not.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah, he's already went.
Because if he was like a very last round thing, it's like that would be kind of fun.
The only reason I think I'd ever pick Cade Otton is if I had a Carolina Panther, and I just want a guy that's gonna be out there running routes. He's gonna be out there running routes. He kind of heated up late in the season.
He did.
I think he's like almost
especially in the playoffs.
Have two tight ends because we're obviously betting on Trey McBride and like lighting it up. I mean, if you're gonna be weak somewhere, be weak at tight end. But
yeah,
in a non-premium, I agree.
In a vacuum, I'd prefer Tyler Conklin. I think he could have a really nice season with the Jets. I mean, there aren't too many pass catchers there beyond Garrett Wilson that you're really worried about. So. But yeah, I could see it with the bring back, but yeah, in most cases, I kind of like Conklin as a sneaky pick.
Yeah, I do prefer Conklin as well, but again, I'll get him on my Buffalo teams, and again, yeah, I think it's, in my opinion, I think it's better just to play in the Week 17 stuff, and let's try to win the 200,000. You know,
yeah, I mean, and when you have like a portfolio of these drafts, it kind of makes sense to do it that way.
Yeah. I think Kadon's like, I don't know. I mean, I was looking at him in my tight end premium leagues as a really sneaky guy. Unfortunately, like it seems like people actually value him in Dynasty in the tight end premium leagues. You know, you and I, we traded Mayer before Bowers got picked for Otton, and we felt pretty good. Do we still have Otton?
Yeah, we still do. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, you should probably mention what we got on top of it. I'm trying to remember now. Was it a second round?
It was literally
pick?
just a second, yeah. So
Yeah. So yeah, basically down tiered.
So yeah,
And yeah, that proved to be a very wise move.
We got
what
paid.
happened in the draft.
Yeah, we upgraded from Mayor now to Auden, and we got paid a second to do so. You know,
We got ripped apart in the league chat when we made that trade. So yeah, I don't know if we ever properly gloated about that, but yeah.
Yeah, we got the Galaxy brain going. You know, we knew how that coin flip was going to end up for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Of course.
On the,
I mean,
on the
why else would we have made the trade?
So I mean, we could just make this like, I don't know. This
How many picks we got? 3 left, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This feels like it could be a 7 running back team. Not gonna lie, and 7 receivers. So Foreman could be a running back.
Yeah, love Foreman.
We could again play into like I like Jalen McMillan. I don't know if there's enough. Oh, we don't know. Sorry, we like Dortch as well.
Yeah,
that could be fun. Yeah.
Do we prefer Dortch over? Like we can just take a running back.
I would say Dortch is like 18th round.
How about this?
I would say,
right? Wouldn't he be there late?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll get him.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, if we're playing ADP, I'd say get McMillan.
Oh no! I was gonna say because we can't take both of them. We have to take one.
Oh, we can't. Oh, because we only can take one more receiver.
Yeah, we can pick a running back here. I was almost gonna say double stack a Bears.
Chicago. Yeah.
Like I like Herbert probably more just for best ball because he's been extremely efficient.
Okay.
I think I like Roschon as well, but I think what
That's
we're gonna
crazy
do here
that they're both right there.
is we're gonna go like this, right? Do we
Okay.
like that? And hopefully
Tyler Love, like it. Running back room, interesting. Love the wide receiver. Yeah, I mean this is.
I like 3 tight ends, but when you get the elite guy, I just don't think it's necessary. And we got to stack with Kyler as well. So if Trey McBride's hot, we don't need the 3rd tight end. Theoretically.
Yeah, and if we draft Trey McBride early, we're making a bet that he's going to have a dominant season. So I think we can factor that.
Yeah, it's like I like this team because it feels like there's going to be like a weekly stream of consistency to potentially get us in the playoffs, but then maybe we get lucky with a lot of these. Just like almost every single guy on this team can like pop for 20 something plus. Well, in half PPR. Sorry, I don't know how to scale that in my mind, but all these guys could pop, except for like maybe our running back room is probably just like the whole. But
we have the question marks, right? So
we do. So if those do hit and can produce, who knows, whatever point weeks
I think
at the right time, could be crazy.
The story here is obviously, like we got the elite quarterback. We don't even worry about them.
Stacks, yeah.
Well, hopefully one of these guys is the guys to own in the playoffs. But like this feels like a team that should advance. Like if Trey McBride again, like is
that's a big one, yeah. It's a big X factor.
We have like so much at receiver and running back. Like you can't just tell me that like we're not gonna be getting start
consistent points
in the Foreman. Again, like we've kind of played into this not ambiguous room, but whatever. Like Herbert's going so late and is like a handcuff that if something happens to Swift for a few weeks, maybe Herbert steps in, whatever it is, right? So, we can buy an injury in the running back and receiver room, I guess, is the story here.
So what's the thinking with Khalil Herbert? Just kind of like raise our floor a little bit and kind of okay.
Because we played again, we didn't play like so heavily. We only have 2 rookie running backs, but these are guys that might not even be anything until week 17. Who knows, right? Like
so it kind of makes sense to raise our floor.
Yeah. And who else were we going to take, right? We could play even more into the uncertainty. I like to estimate as well, but again, there are some question marks. You'd probably be the better pick if I was drafting alone, but again, we wanted Swift. I believe in Herbert as well.
Yeah, I think Herbert's when he's had opportunities, he's played well, so I just like him from that regard.
We were talking about like drafting 2 backs like pretty cheap, kind of like the Miami room last year and this year too. Mostert and Wright again this year are pretty cheap, so it's kind of the same move. That's how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, for sure.
So
look at us. We figured out a 20-second draft timer.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you get your structure down, it's much easier. You also need to like a dictator to be like, no, we're taking Greg Dortch, But
Yeah, I mean, it was tough at times. I mean, there were times where there just like wasn't time to like have like
Yeah.
input from everyone, but you know, we made it work. So it was doable.
Yeah.
So Green
We
Bean,
come away with a team that
yeah,
looks credible.
like I feel pretty good looking at this team on paper. Again, we have the firepower at receiver, which is exciting. Beyond
Yeah, we
anything
do.
else. I feel like we have the firepower everywhere.
How many receivers start a week? Is it 3 or 4?
3. So
3. Okay.
we got
And then 3 running backs?
2 running backs.
2 running backs.
So,
Okay.
and then you get your
Like that.
flex. So again,
Gotcha.
yeah, like we're counting on these 2 guys, and then beyond that, I think every week there should be a guy like coming in and stepping up if we need. But and again,
Good stuff.
K-Don's gonna be running routes, baby. So
Yep.
hopefully he's doing it well on week 17. But
I love it.
yeah, I just don't feel like we're weak anywhere. Honestly, I think that's
Yeah.
we backloaded enough at running back that I feel really good about those individual players.
Yeah, and I like some of the upside, especially of like Vidal and Wright. So yeah, I think we pulled it together and looks pretty strong across all the positions.
Yeah, I think that's how you do the 2-7-7-2. He's like you just don't draft running backs. I mean, of course we did draft Jacobs, but he played into our game, and yeah,
It's awesome.
I'm interested for Green Bean to see, like, his draft must have ended. So
Yeah.
what do you prefer, Green Bean? Like whatever you ended up with, or like did you like ours more? I know the one we did together. I think we really preferred your draft over ours. But,
That's funny.
Yeah. So.
All right, fellas. I got to be here for a full stream.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's
go.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, great to have you back on one of these. And,
I'm tired. I gotta go to bed now.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was great to be here.
More with the 3 of us here. It was great having the band back together, and this was fun.
Yeah, nice to just talk on some players too before draft. I like it.
Oh yeah, for
It's
sure.
a fun kind of dynamic if we want to keep that up during off season where there's not any massive stories. Obviously, when we get to end season, we might change strategy up. Obviously, we're not drafting every time, so we'll figure that out as we get there.
Yeah, we'll keep doing these live streams at least once a week, and we'll probably continue to slowly ramp it up as we get closer and closer to the season. So, I don't know if we'll do 2 next week, but we'll just kind of play it by ear. But stay tuned. Definitely subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it. Follow us on X. I think I put in the comment. It looks like it disappeared, but I'll put it again. I'll also put it as a comment on the replay of the live stream. And yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. And the last words here.
Yeah, follow the Twitter and
nice to be here.
We may get some more drafts fired up. So just be
we'll keep you posted on X. So stay tuned for updates.
Yeah. So yeah, again, shout out Green Bean for coming back in, and it's always fun to draft with people. So next time be ready to go. Don't click too early. So
yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So good stream.
All right,